Are you tired of your ancestry tests leaving you more confused than a sheepdog at a sheepdogging trail? Do you want to know if you're Welsh or nah? Are you a Celt, a Celtic princess, or 100% Tramoror, stuck in the wrong millennium? Forget those fancy DNA tests that help you solve 50-year-old murders. You need One in Me. Let's not skip the breakfast and start our day right. Are you 1% Welsh, like a rogue scone at a tea party? Or a whopping 99%, practically royalty with a crown made of leeks and questionable plumbing? Picture this. You swab your cheek, send it off to the land of dragons and druids, and bam, your destiny unraveled like a bard's epic yarn. Are you a closet bard itching to compose folk songs about sheep? Or a champion clog dancer with legs that put river dance to shame? Or maybe you'll discover a hidden talent for haggling with Ariane. Or you have the sudden urge to wear socks with sandals and the wondrous charm of supporting Wrexham AFC. It's like a magical wardrobe for your soul, except nobody gets stuck in Narnia. Unless you fancy a chat with a talking raven, then okay, more power to your plaid. One in Me doesn't just tell you your ancestry, it unlocks your inner Celt. You might sprout wings and breathe fire. Disclaimer, fire breathing not guaranteed. Do you want to develop an insatiable craving for board or breath? Do you? And gain the ability to ask the same question twice? Maybe? So ditch the boring ancestry kits and get yourself some One in Me. Unleash your inner bard, your inner sheepdog whisperer, your inner cumrag, or whatever Welsh thing you turn out to be. Trust me, it's more fun than having another existential crisis, even if it means learning how to pronounce clan fire poth clan glith go go con dora both clan tu silio go 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 without tripping over your tongue. One in Me. Find your inner dragon. Side effects may include sporadic bardic outbursts, sudden IBS, and an insatiable love for Wrexham AFC. Remember, with One in Me, even a Tramoror can unleash their inner dragon, or at least a really good sheepdog impression. So go on, go forth, and unravel your heritage, and embrace the chaos of being Welshy wonderful. One in Me.
Okay, it's really funny. My only question is, what is One in Me? Like you said, what it'll do? What like what you said what you'll get from it, but I don't know what the thing actually is.
No, it only does one test. It just tells you if you're any Welsh or not.
It only does one thing.
It just does one thing. Yeah, There was one line that I didn't know where to put it in, but it was like, "What, son?" And then the kid, "One inside of me? No, son."
Ooh,
it's
risque.
One in Me. Yeah. But, anyways.
Are you going to play it in the beginning of every episode?
No.
I was like, because you could put it it could be the lead out at the end of the episode.
No, it's a one and done. Like I told you, I have a million ideas and they're
brilliant.
One and done. So, anyways, welcome to Teach Me How to Wrexham. Like, how hungover were you that day? Was
no. I very much learned from my mistakes.
That was great. Oh, there we are. Just had thank you very much, ma'am. There you go. So I've had some donuts delivered from my mum. Thank you very much for that.
I don't get very bullish. I'm not going to do we're going to stop 5-0. Yeah. I don't.
So don't listen. or do, because we could do with the extra views and I'll tell you why exactly you are a horrible little vermin.
Hey, this is Robbo.
I'm Robbo Jr.
And make sure you tune in this week.
It's a good one, don't miss it.
Hey, SJ, how the heck are you doing?
Hello. Doing good. Warmer than last time.
Oof. Well, I guess today we're going to be taking a look at the FACup and looking at Blackburn Rovers. SJ, for anybody that doesn't know who you are, who's SJ?
I'm a Wrexham fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else.
That's all you need to know. So SJ is a Wrexham fan. First and foremost, end of sentence, period. That's a complete sentence. Well, we are looking at Blackburn Rovers today. What we do here at Teach Me How to Wrexham is we take a beginner's perspective and we look at it from like a Welsh Wrexham 101 perspective of new to football, new to the EFL, new to Welsh history or culture. And we kind of gently walk our way into there, taking divergence and tangents as we will. Today, we are on a quest looking at the FACup magic, and we have been witness to some FACup magic in recent history following Wrexham. And so this is an exciting time for us. SJ has prepared some beautiful and wonderful Blackburn Rovers knowledge that she's going to bless us and bequeath us with. Don't know if that's the right
queefing
terminology. And yeah. But we'll get into some Crest and Badge later on. We'll look at the etymology of Blackburn. Spoiler alert. It's simple. Just for anybody that tunes into this before, Bill schooled me, taught me a good lesson on FACup. So just a little recap. The FACup is the large cup that allows all the teams within the EFL pyramid to compete. We are approaching into the FACup round 4 proper, which is not the truly 4th round that has occurred. This is just when all of the teams inside the EFL league have been playing. This is as far as we made it last year. So the replay that we forced Sheffield United into was in the 4th round. If there's any new fans that didn't watch that or don't know about it, go watch that back. Watch Welcome to Wrexham. It was amazing. It was a wonderful replay. It was so close. The taste was in our mouth and it escaped us. Yeah. And it's the one that got away. Some notable teams that are still in the 4th round right now. Obviously, big teams are still in. Man United. Newport, who we just faced, are playing Man United in the 4th round.
I know.
So good for them. Coventry is still in. Sheffield United is still in. So both of those teams, hopefully we don't face them again because we've already faced them before. I was just thinking, how weird
would that be to draw them again? I mean, last year there was this whole thing about projecting of winning before you won, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying that it would be so weird. Be such a weird thing to happen.
And don't want to look too forward into the future, because if we start counting our chickens right now, then, you know, whatever the saying is, you just don't want to do it. There are still some good teams. Obviously, there's good teams that are still in it, but you can look in. You got Chelsea, Tottenham, Man City. Like we said before, teams that we played before, Sheffield Wednesday and Coventry are still in it. Everton, West Brom, Newcastle, Liverpool, Leeds United. There are still some big teams out there that would be wonderful to face next round. Unfortunately, we do need to face a championship side if we can even dream about that, and facing Blackburn. And like you said, Blackburn absolutely decimated Cambridge United. And Cambridge United, if I'm not correct, let's see, they're sitting 14th in the league. So we had
something like that.
Yeah, and we'd beat Shrewsbury, who is sitting 19th within League One. And that was a hard fight for us. That wasn't easy. The factors that go into there are obviously complex. We don't know how much of the rivalry within their fan base that was behind Shrewsbury elevated the game to where they wanted to win this derby, this local derby. That could have played into it to the nth degree, and we won't know how hard of that a fight would have been if Shrewsbury was facing a non-rival within that round from League Two. Hard to tell, but if you're looking at it, Blackburn beat a team positioned above Shrewsbury handily, and we struggled, and they missed a lot of sitters that could have obviously changed the complete game that we witnessed and walked away from. So we are definitely the underdogs again. As much as people hate us and they want to talk bad about us and say we're
giant killers.
Yeah. We're not a fairy tale. Well, look, when you're looking at League Two and you're looking at a championship side, there still is fairy tale within the air. And we definitely want to continue that FACup fairy tale ride, something that we're getting used to doing. And so we had that 1-0 victory against Shrewsbury at New Meadow. And that was on the backs of Tom O'Connor's, what was it, the 78th minute goal. And so Tom O'Connor, he is our reigning MVP, our talisman going into, we'll see who has the magic going into second. Before I jump into a little bit more talk of the FACup, do you have any predictions of who you might think might be our Tom O'Connor for round 4?
I gotta say, when he scores, he does this little thing where he he waves his arms like a bird with number 1 fingers. It's really cute. It's funny.
Oh, really? Okay. I don't think I know. Well, I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So anyways, I just, I want to see that again. I want to see his number 1 bird. That sounds like bad.
I want to see him give me the 1 finger, the bird. Okay. Yeah.
Hey. Anyway, and then Dalby, search into Dalby, switch gears here.
Okay.
He is our top assist, and I think he's actually in the FA Cup. There's a stat, and I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's the FA Cup or just this year with the teams in it, but he has the most assists. So it was something about him being the most prolific player in the FA Cup this year, but I don't know if it includes stats from last year, but then I don't know why it would. I don't know. So anyways, I would love to see, that kind of tease up a Dalby O'Connor goal, right?
I hope it's an out and out assist lead. Last year when Mullen was in the lead for the Golden Boot for the most goals scored, I kept on thinking it was one of those things that we continually see within the EFL, within football, is people create this like footnote to a footnote, an asterisk, a qualifying statement to a qualifying statement, where it's like this, they were the leading assist person who came on after the second minute between the 35th minute and the month of October on rainy days. They were the leader in assists for that. You're like, well, I mean, we could kind of paint that.
Let me get these cherries.
I hope that it's an out and out, just out and out FA Cup to this point, that he's the assist leader. That'd be pretty damn cool. That'd be pretty damn cool to have. Looking at... And
then last year, Mullen, his Golden Boot, people tried to say like, oh, but, because we had the... so we have like... right now we're going to do fourth round proper, but then there's like the qualifying rounds. So because Wrexham were in the National League, we had qualifying rounds last year. So that whole like, oh, but it doesn't count because I'm like, don't be embarrassed just because you lost.
We started from the bottom. Get out of here with all that bullshit. Well, we're going to be looking at those beautiful Monday night lights. The game has shifted. For anybody that doesn't know about the shifting of the date, it moved from the 27th to the 29th. So BBC will now be covering the game where originally they didn't have it as a televised game for whatever publicity stunt reason they did it. That's what I'm calling it. They didn't have it televised, and then magically, what was it, a couple of days later, we're like, oh, we moved the game. It's going to be on the 29th. Surprise. So it is going to be on a Monday night for everybody out there. So traveling isn't going to be the most fun, but we're bringing at least 7,000. I don't know if there was more allocated past that. And there's talks of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney being at the match as well. So I don't know if anything is confirmed, but that would be totally awesome if they show up. Hopefully Rob is not the bad luck charm that he has been in matches in the past, but it would be awesome to hear Emma O'Heed loud inside of the stadium and, you know, crossing through. For us, it's going to be during the daytime. So for a lot of us that have bills to pay and work a job, it's a work day for us. This guy put in for it immediately when I found it was on Monday and put in for the day off. So I have the day off and we're doing a meetup, a Wrexham Phoenix meetup, and we're going to have a watch party. Good number of us are getting together. I'm going to make my famous chili mac and cheese and have a wonderful time. Hopefully it's a wonderful time celebrating. But for the people out there in Wrexham, that's going to be a huge day of traveling on a work night, on a school night, just to come back. Needless to say, they're still going to do it. They're still going to go out there and show up. I wonder what kind of chants we might hear through the TV this time, because when we played Coventry and Sheffield United, I felt like we heard our fans more than we heard their fans, which is super prideful and amazing to be a part of. And I wonder if there's any of them that we're going to be able to make out. You know, it's like, of course, if Paul Mullen scores, we're going to hear Super Paul Mullen. But if there's any other chance that we can hear, and I'll have to bust out my, I know. I want one of those so bad. Oh so man, jealous. You should have told me. I don't know if I have any more. I had a couple of them. I'll look and see if I have any more. If I do, I'll send you one. But yeah. So hopefully this is history in the making, and we're looking at beyond this, we are in round 4. So then round 5 happens next. And again, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But this is the last leg. We haven't faced Blackburn in 40 years, since the 80s, 81 or 82. This will, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I didn't see a stat where we had played before. Or is it that we've never played in the FA Cup before? Because I couldn't find where Wrexham had played Blackburn in the past.
Since it was 81 or 82 is the last time that we faced Blackburn.
Is that before they changed the league structure to Premier and Champion 1-2, and it was just 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah,
because I believe we were in Division 2. I think that's what it was when we faced them, was Division 2 or Division 3. Somebody will correct me, but yeah, precisely before Premier League was a thing. Before they went, oh, ours goes to 11. Well, why? Yeah. Because it's more than 10. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, so this could be another historic moment. It also could just be one of those things where we're just happy that we got to go to a big stage. I think they got over 30,000 seats in there. 30,000 people can fit into that stadium. So it's going to be big. It's going to be bouncing.
It'll be interesting to see how many home supporters they get. I have heard word that when we sold out our 7,000, I read that one of the Blackburn fans had gone to get tickets, or the ticket office was like, yeah, we got a lot of tickets left. So,
okay.
Yeah, Coventry, Wrexham fans were on fire at Coventry, but Coventry fans, and they kind of spread them out. I don't know. Maybe that's why Wrexham was so much louder, was sheer numbers, and passion. Wrexham has more passion, but I wonder how much they're gonna. I'm sure the discount or the price reduction for the tickets is gonna help a lot, because I think they knocked £10 off the cost of a ticket.
I could do that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Make me run better. Yeah, you feel.
My brain was like, money makes you.
Nah, money would make me too. You dangle some dollars in front of me. Yeah. I'll be running like that carrot on the stick. Here's a crazy thing. We're pretty far into this, so anybody that's a part of this right now, these are the diehards. These are the people that aren't absolutely tired of us already. So I do want to do a shout out from those loyal people on the last video. That shout out to the women viewers. The females representing always consistently with the support. So we've got some incredible people like Gretchen Wood. Amazing, tunes in. She obviously went into the end of the episode because she had that half ship, like you said.
Yeah.
Lost show fan, big up. There's also Jay Hampton Jr. He said, "I just excited rooting for the women as the men." Yes, we're all just as excited. Then we've got Deandra Alders. Yeah, there's Diane Atwood. And then there's Deandra Alders, which I assume is like a German last name, like Alders, like Olders, something like that. And then Callie Morrison. Those are a lot of the names that we see consistently. So big shout out to all of you. Thank you for supporting this and tuning in, dealing and putting up with all of the nonsense that we just keep on spewing and waffle on forever. You are the real MVPs, and you make the day bright and shiny. But imagine if there was two people that happen to be watching this right now by the names of Reynolds and McElhenney. If they happen to be watching this right now, SJ, what message would you send to them?
So our emoji challenge, I think, should be a basketball because of our thing of going on. So it'd be a basketball, which I think will also be funny if people don't watch and they just see the comment as a bunch of basketballs on football match. That would be funny.
Americans don't know nothing. They think this is a basketball game that's about to happen.
I know, right? So I would encourage Reynolds and McElhenney to put a basketball emoji in our comments and let us know. That means they want to come on the pod.
I mean, since we're obviously in dreamland with this,
Yeah.
Anybody else out there that has a question, because we have this platform that obviously they're watching this, they've stayed on watching because it's just so engaging that they stayed on for this long. Go ahead and throw your questions for
We got Deadpool
Rob and
level
Ryan
jokes.
down in the comments. Yeah. This is all plausible. So whoever thinks it's not, you need to get with reality, chump. But Anywho, throw that into the comment section if you have any questions that you would ask Rob and Ryan if you had the chance to. Looking at this FA Cup match, if we survive out of it, there are some big teams that are still out there that would be completely awesome to face. SJ, who might be the top team that you would like to face if we had the chance to?
So is this the round that there's 32 teams in? How many teams are? Is the next one the quarterfinals?
Yeah, I think there's 32 in this one, yeah.
Okay. If the next one's the quarterfinals, 16, that would be 32 for us. So, let's see. I don't know enough teams. I don't know enough team names to know.
So we got Chelsea, Aston Villa, Tottenham, Hotspurs, Man City, Sheffield United, Leeds, Ipswich, Fulham, Newcastle, West Brom,
Liverpool.
Everton, Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool's on there.
Yeah, I think so. I know last year Mullen said he wanted Liverpool, and I think that I've seen a lot of comments like before Shrewsbury, people were like Liverpool, and then Shrewsbury, and they were like, well, if it wasn't Liverpool, that's second best to get. Yeah, so I like to see the local fans. There's a part of me that there's a lot of me that relies on local fans to inform how I should feel, because I don't know anything yet very much. But I love seeing the local fans worked up like that. Fan base, like the diehard fan base, and the fans that have supported the team and know all this history, and to see them fired up about a match helps me get fired up about a match.
For sure.
And I also, there's so much information that gets posted online and these in-depth stuff that it helps me learn more about the sport overall, and not just, I know sometimes I get in a feedback loop where I'm trying to learn information, but I just kind of get the same source over and over. It's like just Wrexham, which is great, but when it's only a sole voice or a sole view, I don't know. I like to get a lot of information from a lot of places. And so when fans are like, oh, Shrewsbury, and we should watch them because of this, and then this happened, and I'm like, oh, I learned all about their gay meadow, and so it's stuff like that I'd love to see fans get riled up. And when I hear the matches, even when they're league matches, the fans are so loud, and the chants, and I mean that, I'm sitting in my house by myself watching the match, screaming at the TV, and I don't sing along with the chants, but it definitely the passion grips me, and I don't care if we pass into the next round. I don't care who we play. I just want it to be passionate. So, yeah. Again, I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I respect
Liverpool,
your pick.
that's my answer.
I respect it. Liverpool, that's a respectable pick. It's a little dirty, though. It's a little grimy. Mo Salah got injured in AFCON, and he's going back to Liverpool, or he's already back to Liverpool right now, and he's going under physical therapy and rehab treatment right now for the injury. And so I think that's kind of, obviously their best player isn't going to be on the pitch. So I understand why you would pick Liverpool, strike them while they're down. It's a little bit dirty, but hey, respect to it.
I was like, what does their injured player have to do with the dirt? Yeah.
Oh, it's just Mo Salah. Don't worry about that. Who's that? That nobody.
I do not know. I have no idea who it is.
Oh, Mo Salah's a baller for sure, 100%. Yeah. If you just watch any highlights from the season, and you'll see some Mo Salah.
Speaking of the AFCON though, Mendy, woo, Mendy. Yeah. Getting on the field. I couldn't watch the game, but different posts and stuff. It seems like he got a lot of respect for how he played on the pitch. And one of the players commented about how in form he was, health wise, like strength conditioning, stuff like that. The player was like, yeah, he's doing great. So, love seeing Mendy doing well.
Yeah. Big shout out to Mendy playing that left back, playing out of position from what he typically plays with us. But he's a versatile player. He's good on defense, even though I believe he started out as a striker and then moved into a winger, and then for Gambia playing that left back. But his defensive game is on point, and he's fast as hell. So he can cover some ground when he needs to. But yeah, big shout out to Mindy. I know Mindy's watching, so yeah.
I know. Hello,
what's up?
Mindy.
Yeah. ¿Qué pasó, hermano? On to one of your favorite sections of all time.
Crest and Badge.
Yeah. You know what? I need to just get together some transitions and put it in. But let's move on to some.
You're gonna chop that in. Crest and Badge.
Crest and Badge. Yes. That's going in. Well, so.
There you go. There's your
intro.
intro.
We're going to get copyrighted because that was exactly on key, and the algorithm's not going to know the difference between the real song and what you just did. We're both in trouble. We've been demonetized, and we're taken off the air.
Is there a song?
Like, it's like that Russian song where it's like the guy tongue sings, and he's like, I'll put it in. I'll put it in. Now you know what it is. Now you know what it is.
That's how I make a turkey sound. A turkey sounds like. That's what turkey. Yeah.
Yep. That's where we've gone
off
to.
The rails.
That's exactly where we're at. But SJ, what do we need to know about Blackburn?
So, Blackburn Rovers, we are going to play them in the 4th round of the FACup. And this is the FA. And this is the Blackburn Rovers breakdown. So I have them. They are 17th on the table in the Championship League with 33 points. That's 10 wins, 3 draws, and 15 losses.
Gee.
I know. Their goal difference is -12. They have 41 for and 53 against. So, again, they are in the Championship League, but they're 17th on the table. Last year, we played Sheffield United in the when they were in the Championship League, and I think they were 2nd at the time.
Yeah.
So, we drew with them, and then, had a unspeakable ending to our replay. But with Sheffield United. But anyway, so I think that coming into playing the 4th round Blackburn Rovers for Wrexham, we definitely got a chance to move forward. So just to talk about some of their players, their top scorer is a midfielder, number 8. His name is Sammy Smodix. It's SZ. MODICX. So he has 16 goals plus 3 cup goals and 3 assists, and he's on 6 yellows. So if we compare that to Elliot Lee, who is our midfielder, who is also our top scorer, Elliot Lee has 13 goals and 3 assists and on 6 yellows. So they're, I don't know about playing style, but they're, for midfielders, what I thought was interesting is at Blackburn, their forwards, like it drops off from Smodic's 16 goals to like, I think the next person is like 8. So their forwards aren't really scoring heavily, which that's nice. And then if we want to move into, before I forget, I added a little information for my top scorer thing. I found a stat that shots taken, so of Smodic's 16, well, we'll say 19 with the cup, with his 19 goals, 97 shots that he had, and 37 were on target to get those 19 goals. So, and then compare that with Lee's 13 goals. He had 74 shots and 31 on target. So the percentages there again line up, and that's a new statistic I found that, I don't know. I kind of figured, I know you got to make a lot of shots to get goals in, but I was surprised to see how big that gap is of, I don't know, tenacious. Is somebody tenacious if they're just constantly trying to nail goals in? That's the point of the game.
Yeah.
But
they could have been tenacious with their D. Jack Black reference.
And rock out on the field.
Yeah.
So moving into keepers, they have 2 keepers that have played like half and half for the season. Their keeper number 1, so he's like his number is 1, is Ansley Pears, spelled like pears. So he's had 10 appearances, 32 saves, 19 goals against, and he's only had 10 appearances. So their other keeper, who is number 12 on the back, he has had 19 appearances, 19 appearances with 67 saves and 33 goals against. I don't know if Pierce had an injury, but Leopold Wanstadt is the other one. They're number 12. He has played a few games in August and September, but has been their primary keeper since October. And then I saw that Pears came back this last match. He's played 1 in January. So I don't know if that guy was out for injury or why they're switching around, but we won't know who we're going to face in the FA Cup. So that'll be...
It's like comparing apples to pears.
Yeah.
I'm here all day.
So then to compare them, I'll do kind of both of their appearances. So their number 12, Wadstead, his performance, he's got 66 percentage for how many, saves versus goals, whichever. And Pears has 63. Okonkwo has 77. So, Okonkwo. Yeah. So, man, all these transfer rumors. Oof.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. I want.
What's your favorite transfer rumor?
That Okonkwo loves us and he's going to stay forever and ever.
It's a fountain of youth.
Yeah. My birthday is on Thursday, and all I want for birthday is Okonkwo. That's got to count for something,
not too much
right?
to ask. Yeah.
And blow out the candle.
100%. I'm with you.
Look at a shooting star. Anything. Just want to keep him. So.
I feel you. Yeah.
The Wrexham trainer revival. He's the guy that paints the boots. He posted a thing where he was like, I want to get a hold of a Conquo's mask. And I think that would be so cool if he painted a Conquo's mask. So when he wore it, like Fierce Dragon or something. I don't know.
Is that like regulation, or is there any rules against that? Because I know in NBA and I'm most familiar with like masks being worn in the NBA, that there were rules about the color that the mask could be. And so it had to fit like some uniform guidelines. I don't know if there's anything like that in the EFL that's similar.
What if it was like glow in the dark, just in case the lights, like.
So he looks like Green Lantern. You want to call back Ryan Reynolds' worst movie ever?
I know. I was going to say, I've heard that movie is not very good.
I feel you.
Yeah. So, anywho, moving on to discipline. So, Championship League 2, I try to keep in mind as, getting out of the National League, everybody was like the level of challenge for those teams at the top. They've been sitting there not able to get out. They can really refine how good their play is and then go into League 2. So it's those teams that stay in like the top of the league that are just constantly trying to get out. But, the level of play, obviously, the higher league you go, the better the level of play is. But when I look at discipline, I feel like there isn't much difference in the leagues. It's not necessarily how hard it is to score against somebody or to tackle somebody or, red cards. But you're talking about playing against another team that should have a same standard of discipline as you have.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Maybe I'm just reaching here.
I don't know. I don't have an idea if there is any correlation between level of league level and then type of discipline, because we've heard different varying ranges of National League. They would never call that in the National League, but they're going to call that in League 2. So I don't know in the Championship League if there's specific type of things that are stereotypically called in Championship level or Premier level that aren't called in League 1 or League 2. I'm not really sure. So if anybody out there does know and wants to give us some insight, that's what we're here to learn about. Drop it in the comment section. Let us know. But it's a super interesting question. I'm in for it.
So I'll give you the discipline stats, and then I watched the second half of Blackburn Rovers FACup match against Cambridge United, and I could definitely tell some style of play and ref differences. But before I talk about that, let me just finish up the discipline here. So championship table, Blackburn Rovers are number 10. They're 10th on the Blackburn Rovers are number 10 on the championship discipline table. They have 56 yellows and 4 reds. Wrexham is also number 10 on League 2's discipline table with 51 yellows and 5 reds. So, we all know some of those reds didn't really, they shouldn't have counted. So when I, stack up my breakdown here, keeping in mind there are different leagues, but our goal difference, we're doing real good so far. I didn't write down our exact goal difference. It's at 15 right now.
Oh, you asking me a question, putting me on the spot. Yes. No, I don't know.
Wrexham's goal difference is 17. There we go.
Okay.
17. So our goal difference is 17. We've got 54 for and 37 against. So when I compare that to Blackburn Rovers goal difference, they're 41 4 and 53 against. I think that, I don't know. It's hard to tell because they're like different leagues.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think the biggest threat for this match is going to be their number 8. He's got so many goals and assists. And he, midfielder, I don't know. If we can shut him down, I think we're going to do fine. Not knowing which keeper we're going to get, they kind of have they have the same percentage, 63, 66, for their save percentage, but Okonkwo has 77. So I think that we're going to have a better chance of shutting their goals down and blocking those goals out. And so all we need to do is score. That's all we need to worry about. It's just getting one in. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know.
That's simple enough. We just score at least one more than they do. Yeah. And we should be fine. We'll go on to the next round.
I heard that's how matches are officially decided.
Get out of here. Get out of here. That's insane. You sound like a crazy person.
I know. That was my tinfoil hat for me.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, I watched the replay. I watched the second half of the match that Blackburn played against Cambridge United. The Blackburn won 5-2. And I only watched the second half because I didn't really care about their match. But also that's kind of, I feel like, where the meaty bit is. That's where like people get desperate. The score is already resolved enough that I don't know, people are getting tired. I felt like I could get more information and maintain my interest more with just
so
45
anybody
minutes.
that, if you're tuning in right now and you're X amount of minutes into this episode, lesson number whatever 133 from this series is skip the first half. That's just vegetables that you don't need to eat. The real meat and potatoes is in the second half. Just cue in the line. Go ahead and go to the pub, get drunk for the first 45 minutes, walk in, watch the second half, and that's all you need to know, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, unless it's a Wrexham match, because we score all over the place,
though
it's more in the second half.
I should have said that in the first place. All other teams only watch the second half.
All other teams, yeah.
Including this podcast or show. Skip the first half, tune into the second half, and that's the only things you need to know.
Yeah. Oh, man. So anyway, when I was watching the match, a few things stuck out to me. One, their pitch is beautiful. It almost looks like an artificial pitch. It's so lush green and dense looking. It looks like a tennis court or something. Like it's just like so flat and yeah. So I think Wrexham are going to love winning on that pitch.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah. And then so for the match itself, what I saw is definitely a higher standard of play than I see when I watch Wrexham matches against other League Two teams. I'm not saying our form is poor, but the quality overall for all the games that I've watched. What stood out to me was really clean passing, even in congested groups of, you get that kind of mess of people trying to fight for the ball. There still seemed to be some really clean passing. I noticed more players have footwork like Barney does, where, somebody posted the river dance meme with Barney. And I was like, yes. So, I noticed more of their players have more intricate footwork kind of. This is me kicking the ball, and apparently I have 4 feet. So I just noticed that I've got like jokes about shoes and I don't like just moving on. So the footwork, I feel like, is there's a noticeable in like complexity, difference in complexity. Their formations seem like, and this is both teams, and Cambridge United's a League One team. So, but they seem like, and again, this is one match I watched for 45 minutes, but they seem like they stayed spread out more. Okay, and I'm going to show how much I don't know about football. Okay. They seem like they stayed spread out more in their formation. And when it did get congested with a lot of people, usually it was like more like in the box and stuff. When the ball moved out of that congestion, they kind of scattered back to, I'm guessing, where they're supposed to be. So what I see teams doing in League Two, and remember from watching in National League, is there's a lot more scramble and people trying to remember or look around for where everybody's at. So I guess the fluidity of play kind of stood out. And I think that shows patience by the players. That actually, I heard in Welcome to Wrexham, one of the episodes, somebody was teaching little kids and was like, you don't see, when you watch Wrexham play, you don't see them following everybody in the team, following the ball around. Like they spread out. And I promise the ball will come to you. So I think about that. And then when I'm thinking of the formation or watching them, and I still don't. Okay, I understand like 4-3 or 5-4 or like how many you put
short people. Yeah.
No, like 4-4-3 or 5-3-2. Yeah. I understand what that means where people are at on the pitch, but I can't see when I watch a match. I still can't see plays in progress. Like you can tell this person is set up and practiced in training this maneuver. Like, I'm still trying to figure that out. So anyways,
we'll have to get some like tactical person to come on and then explain to us, because there's like so many different styles of play, but that heavy prevalent style of opening up the field is not only a very English, but a very European style of play where you open up the field and you spread the ball out. And there's one team that is just rising in the ranks, Girona, who is kind of turning that on its head. And they're a team that shouldn't be as high. They might be in second place right now in their league. And I believe it's in, I think it's La Liga that they're in. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Italian?
It's either Serie A or La Liga.
Does that sound Italian? It's a swing in the dark at identifying a language.
Yeah. So they're a small club that has turned more of to what you were saying, where they're following the ball and the players are following the ball, but in a specific way where they're overlapping and bunching up, but with a whole bunch of rapid, shorter passes, and their whole object is to basically exploit that distance and the spreading of the field. And they've had like really good success. And so far, teams just really don't have an answer for them. So we might see some more of that get implemented as time goes on, because it's similar to the NBA where you had the triangle offense that Phil Jackson used to run, and it would run off of, 3 individuals that would be on a triangle and they would overlap. You'd have a pick and roll. You'd have that pick that gets set that frees up a person off of the spin, and that revolutionized basketball. And so that type of thing is something that people didn't have an answer for a season or 2 seasons, and then you had to start coaching towards it. And the spreading of the ball, the spreading of the field and opening it up has been something that the better teams do. And like you were saying, the more chaotic teams will just go to wherever they can go to, and they kind of look discombobulated at times because they don't know their exact position and where they should be lining up or playing to not only play the ball, but play the field, play the person, or play where the play could end up going to. And so like what you're seeing with that would be awesome to have somebody break down not only Blackburn's tactics, but then our tactics in comparison to the two. I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, because my impression was just like it was like a quality like issue. I don't know if you call it issue, but a circumstance of quality where you've got, I don't know, slappier balls going around and everybody's trying to catch up. But it's interesting to note there's like a team that is choosing this as their like go-to plan. Like that's like, hey, this is actually going to be our style of play, is going to be tight and messy and I don't know, frantic.
Well, tight but not messy. It's chaotic intention. So it feels like chaos to the teams that are playing them, but there's full intention on them. And and I just looked it up. Girona is in the first in La Liga in the Spanish professional, and they must have just taken over into first because they're 52 points. And the last time I looked at them, they were in second place, but they're above Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, like all those storied teams. They're above all of them. They're number one. So It's outstanding. Anyways, back to Blackburn.
That's okay. My brain, you're like basketball. I was triangles. I was trying very hard to stay engaged, and my brain was. I just watched Air, the Michael. And so my brain was like, what is the style of play he started? But then I started thinking of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Phil Jackson was a coach of the Bulls.
Was he? Did he come from Oregon, University of Oregon? Maybe that's a football person.
Phil Jackson?
I don't know. I think I'm confusing him with the Nike guy, Phil Knight.
Oh, Phil Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson was the coach of the Lakers that did Kobe and Shaq. But previous to that, he was the coach of the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan that led him to that three-peat in the 90s. And yes, that's where the triangle offense started from. So your point to saying, oh, you're watching the documentary on MJ, absolutely correct. That's absolutely
not
the
documentary, the fake, the one with
not The Last Dance, but something else.
No, the one with Affleck. He's got curly red hair in this movie. Affleck and who's his buddy from Good Will Hunting?
Damon?
Yes. Yeah, Affleck and Damon are in it. So
okay.
No,
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's about them signing him. It's a work of fiction. Anyways,
okay. Yeah.
They talk about paying his fine or for wearing shoes that are have too much color on them. Do you remember that?
Okay.
I remember that when that came out.
Yeah.
Anyways, but then I was like, didn't Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, didn't he start the dunk? I remember there was like, I watched basketball when they had short shorts, like the short shorts, like tan shorts we just played. We can add this at the end. Of course, we'll cut all this out and go back to Blackburn, but we can add it at the end. But the way the history in the NBA worked is originally slam dunks were an illegal move. They weren't sanctioned within basketball. And then once they were allowed to start doing them, I don't know if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the first person to dunk, but he was very proficient at it. Yeah. And then my thought of you talking about the team that had that like tight passy, my brain was like the Globetrotters playing the Lakers or something like this. Kind of, they have their little plan and everything and throwing confetti in the crowd. But
yeah.
Anyways, my thought association. So
the only problem is we'll lose everybody who has no idea about NBA. But
I know you're going to make some hard cuts.
So I'll ask you a question back about Blackburn, and then we'll we'll go back into it. Okay.
Hold on a second. I had one. What was I gonna talk about? The patient's formation. All right, go.
What's it? What was the topic? Because I'll ask you a question about it, and then you can go back into it.
Oh no, I was trying to. So I wanted to make sure I talked about like the passing and footwork. So we got into that, and then formation of play. We got into that, okay. And I already mentioned that that it takes patience. So I was just mentally checking off with the notes that I wrote down that I had talked about everything, because now I'm out of info. It's your turn. Okay. Teach me.
Well, if anybody just noticed a large gap in a cut, it's because me and SJ talked ad nauseum about NBA and things that we didn't know about, and got many various things wrong as we went back and forth and tried to correct each other, only to make it worse. We'll add that as a bonus at the end of the video if anybody's interested in horrible NBA talk. But back to Blackburn and back to this FA Cup match. SJ, anything else that you wanted to add before I derail you again?
No, they're in a different league than us. But that didn't stop us last year's FA Cup run. So when I look at the information and I try to compare, I try to keep in mind that there's a different quality level in the leagues. But so many of our players have come from higher leagues that, I don't know, I think we're going to do okay. I think we're going to win.
All right. So then that does prompt a question, so we can put it on the book and have it on record. Whatever happens with this is whatever happens with it. If people want to cut this clip and then replay it over and over and tag us on Twitter when we're completely wrong, go for it. But on a scale of 1 to absolutely bonkers, how confident are you about facing Blackburn?
Oh, a scale of what to bonkers?
0 or 1.
Oh, 0
whichever,
to bonkers.
whichever you want, whichever scale you want. Because I hope we're going to bonkers.
What if it was like that Dover game? Wasn't there like 13 goals in that match a couple of years ago? Dragonheart did a like in-depth like 2-hour episode on it. It's really good. You should go back and watch it. But I don't know. I just froze.
I believe it was 11-6-5. I believe it's the score on that Dover
11-6-5. I thought there was one that was 7. Anyways, yeah. I just see I don't know. I just think we're going to do well. I think the challenge that Wrexham might face might be internal versus external. There's been so many players like coming on and off. I think I saw a stat that was like only 3 players have been available for every match so far this season. Yeah. So there's the
shout out to Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
That was Wonder Boy's tweet, right?
Probably. Yes. Yeah. And so I just, this time last year, it seemed like Parky had settled into a team. And so he had made a few changes, but I think that it's probably easier to, bring in a couple of people when you have that squad that's like starting together all the time and getting those, I don't know, little inside not inside joke, like, body language. You start getting to know everybody's body language and can just interpret stuff. So I think our biggest challenge is going to be how much squad turnover we've had and whether whoever goes on the pitch can telepathically communicate all their plays and we can have smooth play.
Okay.
I don't want to be negative.
I like that, though. We are becoming telepathic. Yes. We're going to be able to communicate non-verbally and also non-physically. It is going to be just, are we becoming AI and we're all working off
there's
of
gotta be
a
physical
network?
Communication or the ball wouldn't go anywhere.
The ball will be a result of these psychic powers and telekinesis. I suppose we will be able to bend the ball with these metaphysical powers. Yeah. I can see that happening. Yeah. I'm on board.
So anyways, I think that Blackburn is going to field, and they might be more inclined to field a full strength team just because it's getting higher into the FA Cup.
Fourth round for sure.
Yeah, when teams want to start like getting that money and, you know, the prestige or whatever. But I mean, we want that too. So I don't see an expectation. I see an equal, you know, desire on both teams, but I'm wondering if Blackburn will field like their first team or if they're going to get some lesser known players, but then equally Parky can do that too. Okay. I don't know. I think we're going to do amazing. I'm going to say
Exactly where we're at. So shouts out to Deandra, to Diane, and Kelly, and Gretchen, the only people still jumping on right now. But let's look at some etymology, and then we'll go into Crest and Badge to wrap it up. Then predictions.
Okay.
All right. So etymology, Blackburn. All right. Don't need very much. So Old English, we're looking at black, meaning dark or black. And then burn, which comes from Old English burna, meaning stream or river. And so there is a very dark watered river that is close to them, River Blakewater. So there's a little bit of debate where the name either comes from Blakewater being Blackwater or Blakewater being named after somebody Blake, but most people are in consensus saying that it is from black
Sir
as
Francis?
in the color of the water. Sir
Gotcha.
Francis Drake? Water?
Yeah. I was like, Blake? Okay, got it.
Blake? Ryan's
History?
wife? Yeah. So there's different records that show the town with different spelling, Blackburn and Blackburn, in the Doomsday Book of 1086. And so the spelling was Blache burn and burna and burn. So obviously throughout time, you've seen this with a myriad of different names where over time the spelling morphs into the present day term that we know as Blackburn, and many different factors come into there. There's different vowel shifts, dialect shifts, and then there's the shortening of things over time to where you have like Lancashire and it's Lancaster, and you have different formations throughout time where it evolves into a much shortened and easier way based upon the dialect of the people that are around there. So Blackburn is what we have now, and there is a very dark river that is by there, Blake River, and so
Lively.
the River Blakewater. So yeah, so I guess if you're around there and you've seen that river, go ahead, feel free to share that with us. I'll look it up. I haven't been there personally, so I don't know about it, but maybe it's like one of those things with the NFL where they do those overhead shots before the football games and you see the city and whatever landmarks there are. Maybe we'll see a river in between there.
Question?
Yeah.
Where is Blackburn?
Oh, that's a good question. We will get to that. Part of the Crest and Badge will speak upon the location so that you so you get a little bit more. But upon the talking of the Crest and Badge, I will drop a map in as well too. So let's move on to some Crest and Badge.
Crest and Badge.
All right. So, do you know what the Blackburn Rovers crest looks like?
It's got a big rose on it.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a round, like almost like medallion. It has, and of course we will see this up here now. It has Blackburn Rovers FC 1875, Arte et Labore. On the bottom, some Latin for you. And the current one that we see now has been used since the early 2000s. It has gone under a transformation of originally in 1875 to 1878. It was a blue cross, and the cross was a stylized cross with some angular, triangular sides to it. And then there was a town crest from 1960 to 1974 that was used. It had a green-black motif with some bees on it. And then in 1974 to 1989, it was just simply Lancashire rose on the front. And this is steeping back to that Lancashire rose, which has been in a lot of different badges and emblems around that Lancashire area. And it is from the War of the Roses.
Yeah.
We move on to the...
Oh, I just pulled it up. It looks kind of like one of the poppies.
Yeah. A stylized rose. Yeah. And then so in the 1990s, Blackburn Rovers kind of becomes its style of what we see now with that blue circular medallion with the wording and the verbiage on the bottom with almost like a pendant like 3D to 2DS relief coming off of the sides. And it was in red writing with a rose. And you see the stylized rose less like that red rose of Lancaster and more of what we would kind of depict a cartoon rose looking like, or an art clip, you know, like the clip art that you would get in Word or something like that. And then it makes a slight evolution in the 1990s to 2000s where you get a black outline and the lettering goes to yellow instead of red yellowing on or red lettering on the blue. And I actually think the yellow works better than the red. Red and blue being primary colors can work together, but on the color wheel, you have yellow and blue sitting opposite to each other. They are complementary, red and or blue and orange are complementary colors, but very close to it is yellow. And so you're going to see a higher contrast than you would have seen with the red on the outside. And then there's some outlining. It's a little bit bigger of a rose than the current and present day badge, where the rose is a little bit smaller. You get a little bit more white into the negative space. And touching back to why the rose is symbolic, you do have that War of the Roses. This is emblematic of Lancashire, the county where Blackburn is located. The red rose was adopted during the War of the Roses, a 15th century civil war between the houses of Lancaster and York. So you would have seen some of those white and red Yorkshire roses and those red Lancashire roses. And we have seen those on different clubs from the area. The green leaves and stem symbolize prosperity, the club's connection to the land. And that blue ring is the club's signature blue color. This signifies loyalty, trust, and strength. And then that arte et labore motto is written in Latin, and that translates to by art and labor, reflecting the club's values of hard work, dedication, and skill. And
buy, like, I pay for stuff to buy something?
No, like if you were to get something by a means, that means would be art and labor.
Gotcha.
So an honorable pursuit to get things.
Yeah. Not
by just paying for it, but by hard work and the style in which you do that hard work. So they have an appreciation for the art. And it looks like their very first cross was actually called the Maltese cross. And it was worn by both Shrewsbury and Malvern school teams at the time, back at the formation of 1875. So cue the boo to Shrewsbury, and we shall move on. But that is the badge and all the wonderful accoutrement that comes with the badge. It's a simple badge, but I don't mind it. It has a bit of that modern nostalgia to it, where it gives you a feeling of an older time, but still like works today. I don't mind it at all. There's probably some people out there that absolutely hate it and think that it's garbage, but I think it works.
The white background inside of the like circular banner or whatever. I like the white background to like offset the rose. I don't know. It looks like, you know, some of the Crest and Badge we've seen are really complex. And then I think, you know, when you try to use that on a scarf or to make a button or whatever, you know, I was like, seems like it would be more complicated or just look messy, but this is like so crisp. I think that if I saw it from far away, like I would still be like, oh, I can tell what that is.
It looks like something that wasn't made for like new digital imaging, something that was made for stitching, for embroidery.
Oh, yeah.
It probably
looks like a nice
patch.
that way too. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I don't mind that. I was, I don't know what the UK equivalent is, but I was a Boy Scout as a kid. So I earned my fair share of patches, which means 1, I got the knife and I was out of there. Didn't have nothing to do with those people after I did everything I needed to do to get the pocket knife. I got the pocket knife and I said deuces and I wish them all the best in whatever they did after that. But as far as where Blackburn is located at, if you're looking at a map, and of course the map will show up now, it is north of Wrexham. It is north of Manchester, and it is close to Accrington. And so if you're familiar with where Accrington was before, it's not too far away from Accrington, a little bit.
Is that north of Manchester?
It is north of Manchester, yes.
Okay. Is it towards the coast-ish, kind of? The west coast-ish?
It's more to the coast than Manchester, but it is inlet. So it's not on like Blackpool or Southport or Liverpool is on the course. It's not like that. On the coast, it's not. It is. It's more inland. They're not on a coastal area, but they do have some forest.
I got a
around
mental
them.
Triangulation of trying to. I think I got it.
Send your drones. Yes, you can find them now. But yeah, that was Crest and Badge. And one note before we get into our predictions, and this may say how generous you are towards Blackburn or not. But there's a figure. His name is Joey Barton. He's a piece of shit, and he's a horrible person. He played for Blackburn before. He played for Burnley against Blackburn, which is their rivals. He's just if you don't know who Joey Barton is, don't worry looking him up. He is he's trash. He's garbage. He recently was fired just October of last year from his managerial position. I believe he's in his 40s, maybe mid 40s. And he is a very controversial figure. And I can't even say controversial. He's an asshole. Joey Barton, or anybody that likes Joey Barton, if you're watching this, come for me. I don't give a fuck. He's a piece of shit. And I
think to be controversial, you have to like have some people that agree with you. And the only people I think agree with him are also horrible people. So I think the controversy is the pushback of just like, you suck, dude. Yeah. And some people just like to be contrarian to be contrarian. You know, their lives are miserable, so they like doing that stuff. Whatever. Yeah. Therapy's expensive in the U.S., so whatever you got to do to get through it. But anyways, this guy makes disparaging comments about women in sports, that they shouldn't be able to be managers or pundits, and just horrible things. His arguments are all like lack evidence, and they often resort to personal attacks of character and definitely unsubstantiated claims. He just discredits women. He's completely sexist, and he's owning that stage in his platform of like 2.7 million Twitter followers or X followers or whatever. It just shows you how much progress we got to do. But one of the good things to come out of his horribleness, and kind of shows the state that we are in, not only within the world of all the people that think it's doom and gloom, but kind of the state that we are within football, is how many people are coming out and speaking against him and his foolishness. And one of those people or personas was Blackburn's official Twitter account. I saw that.
Yeah.
And they were like, we don't have anything to do with you. Yeah.
Don't bring us into your public meltdown. Like, don't. They Will Smithed him. They were like,
that's what I was
keep
thinking.
my name out your mother. And then they didn't get divorced by Jada later. And I digress. Anyways, I thought that was pretty cool by the club because he posted something really So I kind of got the gist of him, and then was like, I don't need to absorb any more of your crazy into my life. So I don't really pay attention. But when Blackburn posted that, it was on top of like some kind of clip that he was like, a video that showed old-timey black and white, whatever. And he was like, look at all these fine people that established where we are in Blackburn. And Blackburn's like, don't
don't use us as evidence of your moral outrage of whatever you're trying to prove. Like, yeah, we don't want anything. Yeah. We don't want any of that. So respect to them for that.
Yep. Yeah. Big shout out to Blackburn, whoever runs your Twitter account. Good job. Yeah. Good job. Yeah. Torching that poor unfortunate soul. Yeah. In Blackburn history side, they are part of the original formation of the EFL. They're one of the founding teams. So rich within history, but as you can find all the crazies and assholes of the world, they will take any opportunity to use history to prove whatever outdated and barbaric opinion that they have. I'm sure if it was his say-so, he would just smack a woman in the head with a club and drag her back into his Cro-Magnon cave. I assume that's what he would try to do, but I'm maybe giving him too much credit that he would even understand steps that far in ahead, because he seems to just speak out of his mother effing ass. Yeah. Anyways.
I would say is I feel like it surprises me and doesn't surprise me. It seems like it's something that should be normal to say, like, that's not right, and call attention to, not necessarily to give attention to somebody, but when somebody draws attention to themselves, say,
it's a teachable moment.
Or just to say, like, everybody agrees this is what we don't want, right? And majority of people are like, yeah, I don't know what this guy is doing. So I feel like recently, and okay, so even though I am not a sports person and haven't watched sports, there are some very cultural moments that are significant in the recent history in the States. And, I do pay attention to that. And when there is conversations of racism, in my thought is, like, in sports, they're so, like, male dominant, so competitive. And, we see with Kaepernick and his kneeling, and then that becomes a racial issue rather than calling attention to, people getting treated horribly. So my kind of impression of sports is there is room for racism there that should not be there. Like, that it's there, like, it shouldn't be there, but that there's an environment that creates the ability for racism to be more, so gross. Anyways, so moving into football proper and English football, when I see the situation that happened this last weekend with the keeper having fans in, did you see that? There was fans in the stadium that were making inappropriate gestures at him. And he was like, I'm walking off. And he talked to his teammates and the manager, and they were like, yeah, that is messed up. We're happy to forfeit this match if that's what it takes, because we're not going to stand up for that. And just like the, just the, like, basic, oh yeah, this is just normal now, to come from seeing that in U.S. sports where it was like somebody telling Kaepernick, like, you're the worst person ever and you're making sports horrible for everyone, to see that's happening now in English football with somebody, them being like, oh yeah, this is screwed up. Yeah, we don't deal with that. Like, let's just go. And not having backlash, and actually having people appreciate that the moral, like, stance that you have, like, oh, we appreciate that you're a team that won't accept that behavior. Good for you. So I see that coming into when we talk about sexism in sports, and, this guy bringing all this talk and, talking how he does about women and offering up his opinion about, the acceptability of women in sports. It's nice to see that we're moving into, like, yeah, we don't like the racism, everybody, right? That's stupid. Oh, the sexism. Yeah. I mean, it's just a different form of hatred of racism. It's just to women. Like, that's not acceptable either. So it's really nice to see a shift, whereas before I saw kind of a very black and white thing. That's probably not like, it's not what I'm meaning to, but I saw something that was very evident that
very
that
binary,
there was,
just on off. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so it's great to see this guy making a fool of himself, because it's pointing out to so many people like, oh, we don't want to be like that. And I think that when you normalize pushback of people being idiots, that there's a confidence that comes with other people being like, oh, yeah, I guess I could see where that's not right. And yeah, I don't want to be identified with this guy who's an idiot. And
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Try to
So
bring all the
yeah, so yeah, the case is closed. He's been tried. He was found wanting, and we'll leave his body for the vultures. So
but good for Blackburn. Good for Blackburn
Yeah,
to be like, we don't want
Blackburn.
no part of that. We don't want any of that.
So let that, or don't let that, influence. We have to wrap this up, and we need to get a prediction out of. So SJ, what are you thinking? What are we to expect, or what are we to hope for?
Well, regardless of their PR maneuvers, whether they are sincere, I'm saying sincere PR maneuver, give credit to that, but all bets are off for the 90 minutes of the match, and Wrexham we're gonna win. Wrexham are gonna win. I have faith.
Okay.
Confidence.
Okay.
Yes. I think it's gonna be an intense, tough match, and I think I think there's going to be, some matches you see like at the end of the match, the players are like not exhausted. And some matches, they're just like dying. You can see people like literally laid out on the pitch. They're exhausted. I have this feeling this is going to be one of those matches that just really high intensity physical the whole match. But I'm okay with it because I think we're going to shut them down.
Okay.
I'm going to say 2-1. I'll give the Smatic Sky. I could see a goal happening, but Elliot Lee, and Tom O'Connor, right? The win. So
Okay.
yeah, that's my prediction.
All right. Well, we've got that 2-1. I really don't. My heart tells me it was fun getting to the fourth round again.
Yeah.
and just be happy to show up. And I would hope for more. And yeah, I'm hoping for the win. I will not be shocked if we lose 3-1 or 3-0. I will celebrate heavily if we can get a goal in. If we could get one more goal, like multiple goals, that will be absolutely awesome. And if by some wonderful chance we make it out with a win, hell yeah, bring on another team. I'm just going to be one of those people that are like, I'm just happy that we got to where we got to, and enjoy the ride for what it is. Enjoy the match. Hope that we see some good highlights, some good fight within the squad, and hopefully stave off a first half attack, and that the second half is manageable whenever SJ starts watching it, and that the second half is fun, exhilarating. And what more can you hope for than a memorable match with some good moments and takeaways of some glory? And if we're lucky, we'll have another reason to celebrate come this time next week.
Yeah, I don't know. This is probably a really obvious thing to say, but I don't like seeing Wrexham lose ever for any reason, no matter what competition it is. I know that there has been some kind of thoughts with the different trophies or cups where it was like, well, it's not as important and I'm not as invested. But for me, I'm like, no, we want to win them all. Not just the league. That isn't just this one that's important. They're all important, and they're all important for different reasons. But I'm like, I want them to win every match. No concessions on a technicality of disinterest. Like every match, we can do it.
Well, you heard it here first. If they don't win, you've let down SJ. You've lost a fan forever. So you know what to do. You have your marching orders. I want to do a quick reminder to anybody that stayed on for this long. Remember to go ahead and throw the basketball emoji down there. I suppose even the UK's emoji keyboard has the basketball too. Throw that basketball emoji on. Let us know that you paid attention to. This is going to be a long one. I'll see how much I can cut out of it.
How funny would that be if they were like, oh yeah, they don't play basketball in this country. We'll save room for an emoji of something else in this. Like,
I mean, they definitely play.
I don't know.
They definitely play basketball because I don't know if it's just the UK, but in Europe, the second most popular sport is basketball. So there's definitely like a lot of basketball players out there.
The Olympics, like all of the countries try to, anything that's in the Olympics, I'm guessing that almost every country has those teams. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry for everybody that wants to hear some more basketball talk.
Oh.
We've got to head out of here. I've got a episode to edit. Drop down those emojis. Throw in some comments down below. Share this with your friends. Remember to like and subscribe. And like we always say, up the town. And SJ,
Up the town.
what do they need to do? Where do these fingers need to go? What's going on?
Oh yeah.
Here?
Like, I'm guessing it's over here. Like and subscribe. We got new buttons. Like and subscribe. And then watch this other FACup video.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what to do. Have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. And up the town.
Up the town.